Hi guys, this is Mrs. Katz again, and welcome back. This is the side 2 to the Unit 3 End of Unit Study Guide. So let's take a look at problem number 10. It's asking us to evaluate this formula. It's asking us to find the volume. V is volume. We want to find the volume of a cube with a side length S equaling 1/3. So to find the volume, we need to substitute in that S as 1/3. So it equals 1/3 cubed. Now notice I put that 1/3 in parentheses. The side is being cubed here, okay? And in order to do that with a fraction, we need to put it in parentheses so we know we raise both the top, the numerator, and the denominator to the third power. If we don't do that, then we make a mistake. And this means, so the volume is going to equal 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. And remember, when we multiply fractions, we multiply the tops and then the bottoms. So 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. And 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. And it will be 27 units cubed. All right? In 11, it says to evaluate 4 squared. So it doesn't just want us to write it, it wants us to actually get the value, evaluate. So 4 squared, it looks like this, and that means 4 times 4, which equals 16. The expression 120 plus 15n can be used to find the total price for n students to take a field trip to the Science Museum. We want to determine the cost if n equals 3 students to visit the Science Museum. So again, it's giving us the value of n. We're just going to substitute. So this is 120 plus 15 times n, which in this case is 3. Order of operation tells us we do multiplication first, so the 120 stays, and this is 45. When we add them together, you get $165. Factor to write an expression that is equivalent. Okay, so in this particular problem, we don't have the mama bird. She's already in the nest. We've got to find her and pull her back out. So we look at 30 and 5 and find a factor that they share in common. We know that that happens to be 5. So you pull the 5 out. Now, when we put the mama bird in, we were multiplying. So when we take her out, we're going to undo that by dividing. So if I divide 30x by 5, I'm going to get 6x. And if I divide 5 by 5, I'm going to get 1. And that's the answer. All right, translate to an algebraic expression. 9 less than the difference of 7 squared and 6. So 7 squared and the difference of 7 squared and 6. And because it's a difference and it wants us to take 9 less than that, we need to put it in parentheses so that we know we have to do that first. And then we subtract 9. Nevaeh and 4 of her friends order a large pizza for $8 and n medium drinks for $3 each. If they split these costs evenly, which expression can be used to find the amount each girl should pay? So they ordered an $8 pizza plus 3 times the number of drinks that they chose to buy. Now, just because there's 4 friends doesn't necessarily mean they bought 4 drinks. And then if you take that total, this is going to be the total price that they pay. If you take that and you divide it by 4, this will be the expression that helps us find out how much each girl will pay, depending on how many drinks they buy. All right, write an example of the commutative property. The commutative property lets us move things around. So a simple example of that would be this. There's a million, actually an infinite number of ways to write that, but that's just an example. Label the parts of an expression. This first number out here in front of the variable is called the coefficient. And we talked about that on the front side. Please know these terms. The n represents the variable, and the 15 represents a constant. It is a term that doesn't change. It remains constant. All right, question number 18 says that a family of 4 adults and 2 kids, family of 4 with 2 adults and 2 kids, is going to the pumpkin patch. Regular admission is $12 for adults and $4 for kids. How much do they pay to get in? Well, $12 for each adult plus $4 for each kid will equal the total that they paid. We know there were 2 of each, so 12 times 2 will be the adult cost, and 4 times 2 will be the total kid cost, giving us a grand total that we spent. So 24 plus 8, so they would have spent $32 to get in. All right, simplify this expression. So we need to use the distributive property to get this 7 incorporated in here. This is your mama bird, and here are her babies. We distribute the 7, so this becomes 7 times n plus 7 times 3 plus 12n. Now we combine them. Remember, 7 times n we simply write as 7n, and 7 times 3 is 21, plus 12n. Now remember, we've got some some like terms here, so we need to make sure that we incorporate those together. Okay, and not all of them are like terms. Some of them are going to stand alone. So when we put those like terms together, it's going to be 7n plus 12n plus 21. And 7n's plus 12n's equals 19n's. And the 21 doesn't have anything to combine with, so we leave it. And that would be the simplified version. Simplify. Make this as simple as possible. And what are like terms? Like terms are terms that have the same variable to the same power or exponent. That is it. They have the same variable to the same exponent. All right, study up. Make sure that you can answer all these questions and then some, and hopefully you'll ace your test.